1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's the next edition of Squared Circle Breakdown. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, 10 crack commandments, anybody? Thank you. Anyways, episode 9.
Is that our intro music?
That's the intro.
For this episode, yes.
That's the intro.
Anyways, episode 9.
9.
We're getting there.
9.
No, not no in German. The number 9. Keep that in mind. Okay.
We're almost at Ty Dillon levels.
We are. Think Ty Dillinger. Ladies and gentlemen, we had a pretty historic weekend come about. The second biggest annual event of the year from WWE. Summerslam.
I think historic is a strong word to use for this pay-per-view, but maybe that's me.
First off, I can hear myself in the background. Now, whoever did that, fuck you. Anyways, this pay-per-view has a lot of history to it, but this one in particular, let's just say, I still hear myself.
I don't know what's happening.
Well, it's probably my microphone.
Oh, okay. Well, let's just say the shits that would be involved with this pay-per-view, it was definitely drizzling that day.
Yep.
Pretty bad. Although, it did have a great main event. But we'll get to that. I did not watch the pre-show, so if you guys would like to review the pre-show, please.
Best match on the entire show was
on the pre-show.
Was on the pre-show.
Alright, well, I'll leave you two to it, since you guys see it.
So. Well, I did not watch the first 2 matches of the pre-show.
I got you on that, don't worry. Well, first off, they started the night off with the Hardys and Jason Jordan versus Miz and the Miztourage. There was only maybe 20 people inside the arena for this match.
Oh, yes, I heard about this.
Before you finish, I guess, actually, tell us the results of that match.
I do want to add something. This is reminiscent to WrestleMania 32 in Dallas, Texas. Well, actually, it wasn't Dallas. It was some town, West Arlington.
Technically, it was Dallas, but...
Was it? Okay, anyways. Well, what happened was that we didn't get into the building until like maybe an hour after start time because they were using Wi-Fi scanners for the tickets. So that's why when you watch Ryback versus Kalisto, barely anybody's in the building. Not to mention, let's just say you are in Section E and you're standing in line for Section A. If you go up to a guy who's scanning the tickets, they will turn you away and tell you got to go all the way to Section E. So now you got to walk all the way to Section E, and yeah, you get the picture. This is reminiscent of that. Just thought I'd tell that story.
Well, the match itself wasn't bad, but the outcome was Jason Jordan getting pinned by The Miz.
Does anybody feel like Jason Jordan is getting the maybe not quite to this extent, but getting the Curtis Axel treatment? We're gonna build you up to this big thing and then shit all over you.
This would have been much better. This Kurt Angle, a legitimate son story, would have been better if Chad Gable was the son. I do believe that Chad Gable has a better grasp of character. Chad Gable reminds me of Kurt Angle in many ways. Amateur wrestler who likes... Well, I don't know about Kurt Angle's wrestling fandom as far as when he was younger, but I know for a fact that Chad Gable loved wrestling, and he, for somebody that's only been in the business for a couple of years, has a quick grasp of it and has a complete understanding of it. The only difference is that the company got behind Kurt Angle. This company's not really behind Chad Gable. But
correct.
But if they were, Chad Gable could be our current Kurt Angle.
The next big thing.
Also, did anybody else notice on SmackDown how they essentially, basically reformed American Alpha by just adding another black guy to the tag team?
But it wasn't just any black guy.
The amazingly talented Shelton Benjamin. But I'm just saying, they were like, we need a black guy, so...
It's the new Team Angle.
Yeah. With no Charlie Haas.
It's just they're on SmackDown, and no Charlie Haas and no Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's going to be a great tag team, but at the same time, it's almost like they realize, like, we don't know what to do with Chad Gable. We'll just find another black guy for him to tag team with.
Here's what we do. You can either call them American Angle or Team Alpha. Take your pick. Because we don't got Charlie Hawk.
I'd be okay with Team. I think they should be the world's greatest tag team, and then Charlie Haas could show up later and be like, what the fuck, dude?
Well, we can't do that because we don't have Charlie Haas. We need to be the world's greatest Alpha or American's greatest tag team, or... We gotta have a fusion there. Like,
world's greatest tag team Alpha.
American's world's greatest tag team Alpha. Perfect. It rolls off the tongue. I love it! Where is my fucking dividend check?
Sooner or later, it's gonna come. It's in the mail.
Okay, good. I hope they have my address. I don't want it sent to some asshole, probably named Vince Russo somewhere. Because that's my idea.
Not anymore.
So, since we had so much to say about that match.
The next match was Neville versus Tozawa for the Cruiserweight Championship, and Neville beat Tozawa to regain the Cruiserweight Championship.
Stupid. That was stupid.
The match itself was good, but yeah.
Clearly. But it's still stupid. Why give him the belt for like all of 2 days?
2 weeks.
Whatever.
No, a week. 1 week. Just literally a week.
Not even 6 days.
Something like that.
Well,
anyway,
that's
now for the best match that actually happened that night.
The match that I saw.
The last match of the pre-show, the Usos versus the New Day for the SmackDown tag titles.
Dude, this match was amazing.
Shit, that match was great.
This was everything you want in tag team wrestling. Like, hands down. It was so good. It was such a good match.
I have some funny stuff about this match, only because when I was watching, this was one of the matches I did catch. I was watching it at a friend's house. I was watching it with 4 other people, and one of my friends, John, he hates the Usos.
Oh my god.
Despises the Usos. Just like, he cannot stand the breath that they take, the floor that they step on. Every step they take, he hates.
Because of their heel turn, or
no, he hated them
just altogether.
He hated them altogether. Even when they were face, he made fun of them for being the tag team version of Roman Reigns. Then he makes fun of them because he's like, "Oh, we went from being face paint to now being gangsters or thugs. What's a one-dayish?" So me and my friend Anthony like to troll.
Hey! It's what is actually their thing?
It's one day.
Instead of day one inch.
One day is H.
One day is H. One day is H.
One day is H. Okay.
But no, that match was fucking amazing. The false finishes and everything in that match were great.
Oh, keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, I've got more stories about trolling my friends later tonight, but keep going.
Alright, well, the first match of Summerslam was
John Cena versus Baron Corbin.
Yes.
I like
the
how
Lone
you just
Wolf versus John Cena.
I just can't believe you killed Guapo's momentum on announcing that.
Killed it.
I did, because I wanted to take over. I wanted to take over.
Fine,
yeah,
take
well,
over. Take
so
the
did
lead.
the NWO, but they failed. They at least allowed you guys to get over.
Go for it, Kristen. Go.
Go for it?
Yeah, go.
Let's hear your best.
Well,
But no, Kristen, tell me what you think. It doesn't matter what you think.
Yeah.
Because I tell you
that only
this.
works if I don't finish my point before you get to say that.
I don't care.
But my whole point was,
I was correct in my prediction of Super Cena and his magical shovel burying Baron Corbin.
Yeah, right.
But yet I wasn't mad.
When he grabbed that cowboy hat, you knew where this match was going.
Oh yeah,
the second that he touched JBL's hat, you knew
that was it.
It was
over. Match was over. That's
knew. Even Cena was in a subtle way was telling not just the fans, the commentators, everyone at home, everyone there, do not invest your time in this match. Because I'm about to do something that even Alex Riley would be proud of me for. I'm just saying.
Oh, Lord.
I don't remember a lot about this match, to be quite frank.
It was
other
basic.
than Cena won.
It was basic. The only thing that was different from any other match was that Baron Corbin did more yelling at the fans than usual.
Well, they were kind of chanting some stuff.
Yeah, but usually, I don't know.
Yeah, Baron Corbin's in some shit, apparently, supposedly.
For blocking people on Twitter, people that were employees of the company, and mouthing off to other fans.
Mouthing off to, I think he mouthed off to, Dave Meltzer, exactly.
And a Marine.
Yep.
That is a terrible idea.
Well, to be fair, he did not know it was a Marine at the time. When he did find out, he immediately apologized, but regardless.
Well, just don't be a dick to people.
I don't know what precipitated it. I think the Marine just said that, hey, I know John Cena, he started in the Marine, I'm a Marine, we're better than you, and Baron Corbin's like, nah, I'm gonna be in the Marine 6, you see. I don't know.
Is he gonna be in the Marine 6?
I don't know. Look, you're
Probably
talking
not.
to me. You're
He
talking
be in the Marine 6.
I am making.
If he's in the Marine 6,
how can he be in the Marine 6? He can't emote. He has no emotion in his face.
Neither does Kristen Stewart, and she still has jobs.
I'm pretty sure
Not a lot of jobs.
The Miz would be pissed off if Baron Corbin got the Marine 6.
Well, I'm just telling you this. Kristen Stewart is part of one of the biggest franchises within the last 10 years in Twilight. I think Baron Corbin...
Yeah, but that was 10 years ago.
Well, 10 years ago, the first movie. I don't remember when the last one came out, but it wasn't that long ago. And then she started in Snow White. And then some other shit that I don't...
shit?
Some other
yes,
shit.
The amazing movie that was Snow White and the Huntsman, or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
Hey, that wasn't that bad. I just didn't like her. I thought it was weird that Charlize Theron, I'm probably pronouncing her name wrong, that she's playing this ugly witch and she's actually prettier than the person that's playing Snow White. Just thought it was weird. It's kind of like in Scooby-Doo. I thought Velma was more attractive than Daphne.
What, in the live action remake?
Yeah,
live action.
The one with Matthew Lillard and Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah.
I'm so amused by how much we have to say about this pay-per-view.
Well, I mean, after all, people are bringing beach balls to the events. They're trying to entertain themselves. This podcast, we're entertaining the people. The people are not at home using beach balls in their rooms, bouncing it off the walls, trying to get us to entertain them.
We're gonna get to the beach ball, but first we have to talk about the next. We're gonna have to talk about the next match, which once again I predicted. It was for the WWE SmackDown Live Women's Championship. Woo! Naomi versus the I don't know, the Hart Dynasty, Natalya.
She's the queen of black hearts right now.
All right,
yes. Whatever it is.
So she's taking Owen Hart's nickname.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now I want to know what Spaz thought of this.
He was extremely excited.
Yes, he was. He was extremely excited.
No, I want to know how he felt when she made her entrance.
Naomi?
Yes.
I assume something similar to what it always is.
Normally it's a typical groan like, so, that's about it. Pretty sure, Spaz, quote me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's about right. That or he didn't even watch the entrance because he was probably taking a piss. So Natalya beat Naomi, which is great.
Guys,
Natty's needed a women's champ. This is her first women's championship in a very long time.
6 years.
I wish I had the numbers.
I got a small emergency to take care of, so you guys take over from here for a little bit. Thank you.
All right.
Small emergency. This match, it was a pretty good match. It was a lot of submissions, stuff like that. Natalya ends up winning. A lot of people are excited about that because they weren't a fan of of Naomi's belt, how she glorified the belt.
Yes.
I was indifferent. I didn't like it, but I was just like, whatever.
There's also some people saying that they think that it was stupid that they took the belt off of her so soon because of the
After
fact
giving
that
her own belt.
giving her the glow belt, and also apparently, I'm checking right now, but apparently they started selling the glow belt.
Yeah, that would be dumb, but maybe it just, it wasn't selling enough to
I'm not seeing it though.
justify
Anyway.
keeping her as champion. Natty's needed a women's title for a while, women's title run for a while. I'm not saying this as she'll probably retire soon, but I mean, she is like one of the veterans of the women's roster, so she's kind of moving into her John Cena years.
Yeah.
In her
definitely.
into her look, make everybody look good, but even Trish Stratus had a last title run.
Exactly. But I'm happy to see that Natty's got it now. Definitely.
Yeah, I
Because
think
she
it'll be
definitely
good if
deserves it.
she's being the heel. This match kind of threw off how I thought Money in the Bank was going to go, the women's Money in the Bank was going to go down. I thought, because you probably couldn't have Carmella cash against Natty unless you were going to turn Natty face or Carmella face, which I think would be detrimental to both of their characters. I don't know when they're going to mess with Carmella now.
Yeah.
Certainly was shooting her mouth off during the pre-show.
Yeah. My prediction for Carmella would possibly be either, depending what they do with the women's titles and stuff like that, for around like the Survivor Series area, or also possibly Rumble time.
Yeah, I think she should hold on to it for a little while. A lot of people thought that since this didn't happen, and later on we'll talk about Sasha versus Alexa, that maybe she was going to cash in on the Raw Women's title. There hasn't really been you have to stay on this title. Like Baron Corbin, definitely this was a SmackDown Money in the Bank briefcase. So you knew you had to go for Jinder Mahal. But because Money in the Bank is only on one show now, they haven't really set a
I think they're supposed to flip flop. Like 1 year Raw has Money in the Bank, next year SmackDown, that type of thing.
I think that's right. I like the idea that no matter what show it's on, that pay-per-view's on, if you win Money in the Bank, you could go anywhere.
Right. That's what I like the idea of that as well.
Because it's very much like sadly, when Batista was being teased in 2005 to go to SmackDown because he had won the Royal Rumble, and it looked like he was going to go after JBL's title, but instead he ended up going after Triple H. And there's nothing in WWE right now that has that level of unpredictability anymore.
Correct.
But we've talked a lot about this women's match. I was trying to stall for time for Monoxide
So was I.
to come back. But
However,
he didn't.
Back, ladies and gentlemen. What have I missed?
Look at there! Just in time to talk about the best match of the card. That is Big Cass and Big Show versus Big Cass versus Big Show with Enzo Amore in a shark cage for reasons.
5 stars! Not negative, not minus, plus 5 stars!
Have they released that yet?
I have no fucking idea. I could just tell you that I enjoyed this. Think about the drama that was being unfolded within our very eyes.
I mean, it had everything. It had ex-best friends. It had shark cages.
It had no dimes.
It had Enzo pulling baby oil out of his crotch. It had people stripping down to the skivvies.
PG, ladies and gentlemen.
And then it had the most amazing finish ever, which is after all that work and after Enzo decides, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to get out of this cage, I'm going to go attack Big Cass, I'm going to end this. And he strips down to his underwear for reasons. Did he really need to do that? But for reasons. And then he squiggles out of the shark cage, holds onto the ledge, and it looks like, I don't know, he could drop on top of Big Cass, except that Big Cass is watching the entire time, and then just like, he drops down, and Big Cass destroys him. The end.
I loved it. It was awesome. And then not only that, Big Show, even after all this time of all this stalling, knowing the veteran Big Show, and he's probably been in these situations before, still could not get up in time to avoid the big boom. Fucking awesome! I loved it. It was great. Anybody who wants to debate me on that, fuck you.
The match has a 2 out of 10 rating.
And then the best part is that all of this amazing buildup that they put into Big Cass, because clearly that's the one they want to succeed, and clearly that's where that storyline should have gone, and not to the way more popular Enzo. And then he gets hurt on Raw.
Now,
yeah.
That does suck. I'm not gonna lie. I don't wish injury.
It's like the biggest waste of time ever.
To be fair, I don't wish injury on any wrestler. I troll a lot, but my line is drawn at wishing injury on somebody. Because that is not cool. Because at the end of the day, you lose money, you don't get paid, and on top of it, this is your big push. Unfortunate circumstance happened. They're saying he's going to probably be out for a total of 9 months.
They haven't released anything yet today. At least I haven't seen anything, because they haven't said anything whether it's going to be a orthoscopic surgery, to where all they do is like literally put like 2 or 3 tubes. Like I say tubes. They're more like big ass needles that they can put really small ass instruments and fix whatever it is, or if it's going to be a endoscopic where they have to really cut your knee open and fix where the problem is.
That ain't right, but
because if they do the orthoscopic where it's just a couple holes with the big ass needles and shit like that, that's roughly about 2 to 3 months recovery, depending on the person's recovery time, where the other one, that could be anywhere from like 6 to 8.
Well, yeah, they're saying it could be a relatively long time, and that sucks. Here's my thinking. Breaking these two up was the biggest mistake.
100% agree.
Not only has it hurt Enzo, which I guess that was your goal, because nobody likes
Even though we did get Enzo on 205 Live last night.
That's great and all, but here's the thing. It hasn't helped Big Cass either.
Correct, it hasn't.
No, it really hasn't. It hasn't done shit.
The only thing that Big Cass can say he's done throughout this run is be able to block a letter off of his Titantron and consider himself Big Ass. Like, literally, he could run with this. Big Ass. He could be the son of Mr. Ass, Billy Gunn. And he can go around with the tights and the lips all over his tights, call himself Big Ass, and call himself a casshole. It's perfect.
A casshole. We should just start calling him that anyways. He's a heel character, so we should just start calling him Casshole.
But they ain't gonna do it, because my ideas are great, it would make money, and you would owe me money.
Casshole.
What's gonna happen is, they are going to see this, and then people are gonna be like, wait a minute, they're doing Monoxide's ideas. They owe this fucker money. And God knows you do not want to put any sort of dollars into my wallet. So, fuck you. It's conspiracy, I tell you.
Well, we should start talking about the actual match of the night, which is the next match.
The match of the night. A total of 3 out of 10 stars. That's right. 1 more star higher than the Big Cass versus Big Show match.
I was about to say, actually, I'm legitimately kind of shocked about that. But anyways.
The match that lasted a whole minute because of a RKO out of nowhere. Randy Orton versus Rusev.
You're overshooting
once again.
Did it even last?
Once again.
Did it even last
by 50 seconds, dude. 50.
Oh, 50 seconds. I'm sorry.
That's 10
well, they did fight on the outside for a little bit.
But the bell didn't
ring. I didn't even see the match. Like, I went and I turned and looked at my phone. It was over.
I gotta say, this match, I guess John Cena was like, you know what? This shovel isn't done tonight. Hey, Randy, here you go. And threw it to him. And it's like, Randy's like,
Instant
yeah,
5-star classic.
What? You know what? This shovel feels right. I'm bringing it with me to the ring tonight.
No, see, here's
The only way this match could have been better is if the storyline behind this and the John Cena Baron Corbin match was that John Cena and Randy Orton run into each other, be like, who can bury their person faster, and then it leads to them feuding at this year's WrestleMania. Randy Orton versus John Cena, once in a lifetime again.
I love it.
For the
Again.
WWE
Here's the
title.
thing. The reason why I don't give this 5 stars is for one reason. It was only 10 seconds. This needed to be at least 20 minutes of non-stop fumbling, botching, and just completely Randy Orton dominating. Then this would have been 5 stars.
50% headlocks. There has to be at least 10 minutes. If the match is 20 minutes,
hold on.
there has to be at least 10 minutes of headlocks.
Only 50%? I think we need to bump that up to at least 85.
At least 70. I would
85.
say
At least
75.
75.
75.
No,
So Cena has to get
85. My
Cena
final
has to. Cena has to get those fucking shoulder blocks in, the fucking tilt-a-world, whatever bullshit slam he does, the you can't see me, and then the attitude adjustment. And Randy has to at least attempt an RKO.
Yeah, but it
But
has...
mostly headlocks.
No, but that's the beauty of it. See, the RKO is supposed to come out of nowhere. So what'll happen is Randy Orton will put him in a headlock for like the 100th time, and then it'll turn into an RKO. But while he's going to turn it into an RKO, while he's in the air, John Cena's going to catch him and then flip him over, try to do the FU, and as soon as he does that, Randy Orton will reverse it into an RKO. It's fucking awesome.
And
See,
then
we
once
just
he
made
reverses
this match
into an,
so much better.
once he reverses it to an RKO, Cena's going to no-sell it, get up, and attitude adjustment Randy.
I think what should happen is Randy should win, and then we can build the
Are we
dream
talking
match.
about their WrestleMania match, or
Yes.
are we
Yes,
talking about the match?
We are talking about a WrestleMania
Okay.
match because the next year's WrestleMania you got to build to the big main event. Here we go. Watch. Suplex City versus Headlock City. Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton. All
No.
it is suplexes and headlocks. That's
No,
all the
this
match
is-
is allowed to be consistent.
Oh, no.
No, this
Hang
is what
on,
needs
you
to be.
can't-
No,
you
no,
can't do
Kristen,
that.
Kristen.
Hang on, I will add one thing.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, you go first.
I would like to
I
add
was
one
going to say
thing.
you
Okay,
need to add at least. You need to add at least one thing to this match, which is that John Cena comes in at number 30 at the Royal Rumble, wins the Royal Rumble, and then joins that main event match.
Yeah, but he doesn't have a
No,
city.
no.
He has a nation, but he doesn't have a city.
This is what happens.
That's close enough.
This Mania, it's Cena versus Randy Orton once in a lifetime. Cena loses miserably, and then Monday night after Mania, Cena calls Randy out for WrestleMania 35, and they have a year build up for this match. For once in a lifetime, one more time.
I'm sorry.
It's golden.
I agree. That's the
golden.
That's the best way to do it.
I still believe
Obvi-
in Suplex City versus Headlock City. I think it would sell so much fucking merchandise because it's like it's two warring factions going at it. In fact, they should have factions. Headlock City should have a bunch of people that do headlocks, and Suplex City get like Chris Benoit, dig him up and let him join. I think it'd be awesome.
Next match on the card was for your WWE Raw's Women's Championship.
Ooh, I got something
Alexa
to say.
Bliss versus Sasha Banks. This match was rated a 6 out of 10, which I believe is a little low.
Yeah, I think that's a little low. This was
I
actually
think
a really
it should
good
have been
match.
at least a 7.5, maybe 8. Because I thought it was a good match.
Do you mind if I go on a small little rant?
Go ahead.
Please do.
It has really nothing to do with the match. It has to do with the particular superstar in the match. So I'd like to.
Okay. Go for it. Yes.
So,
right.
anyways, there's been a big divide in our wrestling community, mostly in the Facebook wrestling pages that I'm on, because a video came out where Sasha Banks was leaving a hotel, or no, she was leaving some sort of pizzeria joint to go to her hotel with her husband to eat pizza. Naturally, a bunch of fans were outside. They're going crazy, and she blows them off, and then they start booing her, and everyone's like, she doesn't owe them anything, blah, 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 blah. Okay, let me just say this for the record. I understand that you can't always stop in the middle of what you're doing to sign autographs and take pictures because, A, you're either tired, or B, you have somewhere to go in a certain amount of time. You can't be bothered. Fine. I completely understand that. However, here's the price you pay for being a celebrity. Because, yes, Sasha Banks isn't some independent fucking women's wrestler. She works for the biggest company, and she's a big name there right now. She's not like a Dana Brooke or an Emma where they're not doing really much with them. She's actually like somebody that
I would like to do a lot with Emma.
I mean, what? Everybody would, but here's the thing. Sasha Banks is a big-time women's wrestler right now. So obviously, when you go out in public, not just wrestling fans, there's probably going to be outside fans who know who you are and are going to be excited to see you. Now, sure, some people consider it stalking. I don't consider it stalking. Stalking to me is when they're outside your hotel room looking through the peephole, seeing if you're taking off your goddamn shirt. That's stalking. Standing outside the hotel just to see you walk out there and be able to, like, say hello or get a picture or whatever, that's not stalking. Can it be a little too much? Sure, I understand that. But as a wrestler or as a celebrity, you have a certain duty to at least give something. And the something could have been a wave and a smile. It's not hard to do. It's not much to ask of a celebrity, especially since some of those people probably had children there who their dying dream is to see this larger-than-life character in Sasha Banks say hi to them or wave at them or smile at them. Now, if they see you and then you just completely blow them off, you just completely crush their hopes and dreams. It sounds crazy, but think about it. If you go up to a kid who's 7 years old and tell them that Santa isn't real, what are you doing in the process? You are killing off their innocence and you're killing off whatever imagination they have left. It was explained in one of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air episodes. So, here's what I'm going to say. Sasha, people are turning against you, and within reason, in my opinion. You as a babyface at least owe it to that, because you have a notorious history of blowing off fans, some justified, some not. Mostly not. And some of them are kids. And like I said, if you don't want to do autographs and pictures all the time, you are perfectly entitled to that on your private time. But understand, you're a celebrity. People are going to see you, they're going to know you, they're going to make a reaction. The most you could do at your situation is smile and wave and go about your very day. Some fans will get that, some won't. You have to weed out the good ones from the bad ones. That's all I got to say about that.
Well, and just to touch up on that, and Monoxide knows this story, and we find it fucking hilarious. I think it was correct me if I'm wrong, Monoxide. I think it was WrestleMania in Atlanta. Our friend Johnny Thunder did something similar. He was like near the hotel or at the hotel that the wrestlers were at, and ran into Sheamus. Yep. And he was like, "Hey, Sheamus, can I like get a picture?" And Sheamus says like, "Yeah, I'll get you in a second," and then proceeds to get in the elevator and just fucking leave him.
Sheamus was not the only one that did that. Kristen also did that as well.
Kristen did that to me in Miami, but even though they were dicks and like left, they at least still acknowledged Johnny. Now, granted, we spent a good portion of the weekend trying to convince Johnny that he should go back to that exact same spot and just be waiting in that same spot for them to come back down the elevator and be like, "I waited here this whole time."
Yeah, I do remember the story, but see, even with that story, anything could have happened. Maybe Sheamus and Christian didn't mean to be dicks. We don't know. We don't know the story. Mm-hmm. They could have legitimately thought, okay, I'll come back and take those pictures, but something came up. We don't know. But like you said, at least they made the acknowledgement, hey, I'm sorry, I got to be somewhere. I will take it when I come back. They at least did something.
I will give Sheamus the benefit of the doubt. I will not give Christian the benefit of the doubt because I stayed at the same hotel that the wrestlers did in Miami. And that fucker, we had a bunch of drinks, I guess, Saturday night? One of the nights we were there, Saturday night. And so Deidre was, quote, had food poisoning. I mean, was hungover, but had food poisoning. So I get up, I'm a little hungover too, and I'm going to go walk to the CVS that's close to our hotel, get like some Gatorade, whatever. I get in the elevator, and as it's going down the floors, it stops, and Christian gets in the elevator. I'm wearing a CM Punk hat. I'm wearing like sweats. Like I feel like shit. Like I don't want to talk to anybody. Christian sees my CM Punk hat when he gets in the elevator and proceeds to like do anything in his power, like not to get close to me, not to make eye contact, nothing. Like, oh fuck, I don't want to deal with this fan. And I just remember being so like not feeling well that I wanted to look at him and go, dude, if I wanted your autograph, I would have fucking asked you by now. Calm your shit.
Now, keep in mind, that story and the Sheamus story and the Christian story, we're not condoning what they did. They were not right in that situation. They should have just said, sorry, I can't do autographs. It should have been upfront. I should clarify that. But it's a lot better to acknowledge than to just completely blow them off. To me, it's more disrespectful. It's disrespectful to blow off somebody. The two stories that we mentioned earlier, that could have been misinterpreted. Your story, on the other hand.
Oh, and also, these are clearly I was older. Johnny was an older person. And like, we're not going to have our hopes and dreams crushed because Christian didn't sign an autograph or because whatever, or even if Sasha Banks doesn't acknowledge us. But like, if you do that to a little kid,
right? And keep in mind, I don't know if these stories are true, but it's coming around that a lot of stories are coming around that she does do this to fans and kids, even kids. There are some stories that'll. Some stories will contradict it. They'll say, "Oh yeah, I met Sasha Banks and she was great." I'm sure she was. But
it's maybe they're just hitting her at the wrong times. But you know, you just even if you're in a shitty mood, man, you gotta not be a shithead.
Let me put it to you like this. This is a lesson that I learned, and I think it's a great thing. No matter who you are, you should always follow this advice. The world owes you nothing. You owe the world your best you. And I think that's definitely the way it is. And again, when I mean that, I mean you don't have to always stop and give autographs and take pictures. I understand it could be frustrating, or you just want to get home, or you have to do something. It's because it's part of the WWE schedule. But again, all you got to do is smile and wave. If you smile and wave and a kid sees you waving at them, they are going to go home and be like, Sasha Banks waved at me and smiled at me. I'm never going to forget this. And then 20 years down the road, they can look back and feel so good within themselves. How are they going to feel 20 years down the road knowing full well that the person that they looked up to just completely blew them off? And one more point before we continue, we can go on to the next match. Jinder Mahal, who's the WWE champion right now, who's probably busier than ever because he's the top guy's number one champion. There's a video of him literally stopping to give autographs and pictures. And again, it's not necessary. You don't have to do that. Obviously, you're a human being. But the fact that the WWE champion is going out of his way to make sure that his fans go home happy, that's saying a lot. Because you as a woman are supposed to be revolutionizing this industry so that the women can get involved and girls can look at the business and be like, I want to be in this. You have a huge responsibility on your shoulders. And in my opinion, you're doing a disservice by just completely blowing off fans like that.
But the match was really good.
Match was fine. I really didn't have any complaints about it. I'll say this. All the shit that I give Sasha Banks, the one thing Sasha Banks has over Alexa Bliss is she is a better worker in the ring. I prefer Alexa Bliss as a character, though. Way better character.
Well, I think I especially this face Sasha. I mean, it's not bad, but I think she's one of these people that just does better as a heel, and she hasn't been able to be a heel on the main roster.
True. Even if she was a heel, that kind of character does nothing for me. The bratty, bling bling type of girl, like the Alexa Bliss. I could imagine what Becky Lynch would be like as a heel. That would be some good shit. I think they should turn her heel.
It'd be definitely like something for her to do. Let's move on to the next match. Guapo.
The next match is the Demon Finn Balor versus the Eater of Worlds Bray Wyatt.
And the Eater of Losses.
And the Eater of Losses.
Can I just? This was a good match. My one of my complaints about this match is that even on the WWE Network they announced the return of the Demon. I think it would have been interesting to just kind of leave it like they show the video package of Finn saying like I have my own demons too, and then flash the music or like flash do a little do the creepy whatever stuff, and then have the demon show up at the pay-per-view as opposed to announcing the Demon King is returning to SummerSlam.
So sort of like last year when they had that promo on Raw before SummerSlam, they didn't really announce a Demon King. They just did a little video package of Finn Balor talking, some sort of mythical stuff, and then in the end of the video, it kind of like just faded. It kind of did some sort of effect where it went from regular Finn to Demon Finn. They faded it into that, and then boom. They didn't really announce. Maybe they did.
Yeah, I would have preferred no announcement, but like I said, like I've always said, I feel like the Demon is something that when Finn needs to, turn everything up to an 11, like he needs that extra push or that extra psychological edge.
I will say that.
Did I think he needed it for Bray Wyatt, who loses all the time? Maybe not, but it made sense in storyline since he's supposed to be.
And SummerSlam. But I've seen Finn Balor's entrance as the Demon King in person for NXT TakeOver 1. I cannot wait to see this entrance at WrestleMania. I can imagine what they're going to fucking do with that. I pray to God, let me knock on wood right now. I hope that Finn Balor can keep himself healthy from now until Mania, because my girlfriend, she likes Finn Balor. She's a big fan of her, or big fan of him. I could just imagine us together watching that entrance at WrestleMania Live. That's going to be some kick-ass shit. As far as this match, I didn't care for it. Like, when Finn had control, it was fine. When Bray had control, the fucking thing dragged for me.
I was indifferent to this match, but probably because I knew that Finn was going to win. I'm like, there's no way they're bringing the Demon back and making this big thing about it and then have him lose.
Yeah. But this match was rated 7 out of 10, which I think is about right.
I'd give it a 5. I was just bored when Bray took over. And keep in mind, this is somebody who likes Bray Wyatt. I love the character, but he always loses. It's like, to be fair, he won on Monday.
You're not invested in him anymore.
To be honest, I still am, because I do find the character intriguing. It's just that it's hard to get invested in his feuds, per se. I don't know if this makes sense, but I love his promos, but I don't love his feuds. That fucking... Actually, you know what? No, I take it back. That 5-star match, the House of Horrors match, that he had with Randy Orton, which was fan-fucking-tastic, because Vince told me it was. It's just shit like that makes me not care about Bray Wyatt's feuds.
Guapo, your thoughts?
I enjoyed it, but then again, I enjoy both of these wrestlers, so I was gonna like the match regardless of what the outcome of was the match. So
I will still say it to this day. Finn needs a new finisher. I don't like the coup de grace. I think it's ugly. I think it's like not graceful. I just don't like it.
I think it's dangerous.
Yeah. Also, our friend Brett brought up an interesting point that I think would like really also amp up the Demon character. If you gave it like a similar but slightly different moveset.
Yeah.
Like he could still have like his big signature moves, but just like an ever so slightly different moveset to distinguish it from.
Keep the sling blade, keep the drop kick, but
maybe like give it a different finisher.
Do you think, now this may be reaching, but do you think there should be like a mist, like a poison mist that Tajiri used to do?
No.
I think it's cartoony now. I think the mist is too cartoony.
Doing any type of
well, this gimmick is a little bit out there to begin
with.
Yeah, but it's not that out there.
It's out there.
The thing. Is something like this, and even with the entrance, if you went too much in one direction, it could come off total boogeyman. Like with the crawling and all that. If you don't do it just right, it is fucking cartoonish. like the Boogeyman.
Correct.
I don't know.
But if you do it right, then it doesn't. So I don't think he should do the mist, but that's just because I think it would be cartoony. Like, it's different. I don't know. Maybe the face paint is what changes it for me. Like, if somebody without face paint does the mist, I don't find it as cartoony as somebody with the face paint, with the character, I guess.
I'll just say this. There's a wrestler out in Japan named the Great Muta who was also face painted, who had all that fancy stuff that Finn Balor does. And he does the mist, and he's considered one of the greatest, if not the greatest, Japanese legend of all time. So if we're talking here, it has to be right. If Great Muta can do it, I do believe Prince Devitt, Finn Balor, whatever the hell you want to call him, I think he can make it so that it doesn't seem cartoony. Because it's worth for a guy.
Well, if you could make it not cartoony, but...
No, I mean, like, I'm not even saying do it in the face. Like, do it, like... Because what Great Muta did, he didn't do it to his opponent. What he would do is, right before the match, he would take his fingers and put it to his throat, and signaling that he's going to do it. And then he would just take a second and then just boom, out, and everyone would go completely nuts. Sometimes he do it
kind of like the Triple H water thing that he does getting into the ring.
In a way, except that Muta's already in the ring and the bell is already wrong. Very small differences.
It's just for show kind of thing. I could maybe be into that, but I think Finn Balor needs a new finisher. I do not like the coup de grace. I don't know what I would give him in place of that, but I've never liked the coup de grace. And I love Finn Balor. He is on, like, you know, he's probably my top guy.
Right now.
I love Finn Balor. Finn Balor can do no wrong.
But he can.
But he can, because he got hurt last year, so that was definitely wrong.
Nope, that was Seth Rollins' fault.
Okay, Bret Hart. What's next?
Clearly that was Seth Rollins' fault.
Hey, even Finn Balor took responsibility for that. He even said he was wrong.
He was saying he was trying to help Seth save face.
Oh, I see where we're going here.
He's such a gracious person.
We're going with me and The Miz here. Okay, I see what you're going with this.
He's such a gracious and caring individual. He shouldered some of the blame, even though it was clearly all Seth Rollins' fault.
I like how you use the term shoulder, because that's exactly what fucked him up in the first place.
Exactly. His shoulder. Even with the bad shoulder and all, he shouldered some of that responsibility. Helped a guy out.
Yeah, help a guy
next
out.
Match.
Help a guy out. Guapo, next match.
Next match was another great match of the night. This was for the Raw Tag Team titles. The champions being Sheamus and Cesaro versus the reuniting brothers in arms, Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. 2/3 of the Shield.
There's one thing I'm disappointed by.
The good parts of the Shield.
There's one thing I'm disappointed by, and that is the night after WrestleMania this year, there was a chant for Sheamus and Cesaro. It went something like da 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 da. Sheamus and Cesaro. Da 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 da. I'm so sad it hasn't carried over, because it was all over that night, and it was the best chant.
That was really wordy.
That's what, I don't know, it was the Europeans that came out and went, da-da-da-da-da, Sheamus and Cesaro, da-da-da-da-da. It's such a great chant.
It's because those crazy Europeans.
I love those Europeans to death. That's why I love going to Mania, is just to be with the Europeans. They are some great people. But
I think this match also suffered from what the last match had, which is, why are you going to bring Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins back together for a tag team title if you're not going to give them the title?
Or, why is there no Roman Reigns with this? As somebody who's been critical of Roman Reigns, I feel like it's just incomplete without him.
I'm happy Roman's not a part of it.
He's the man.
No, he's not the man, he's the big dog.
That's right. I'm sorry, I'm mistaken.
And spell dog with D-A-W-G, okay?
Yep.
You were saying Guapo.
So, this match was rated 8.5 out of 10.
I can agree with that. I
could see that.
I feel like the beach ball helped.
Yes, this was Beach Ball.
Cesaro went fucking ham on that beach ball. That was great.
He ran it so that the crowd got a beach ball going, and I guess it came down to the bottom area, and Cesaro ran into the crowd, grabbed the beach ball, and ripped it apart.
Yes, he grabbed it from the security guard because the security had already gotten the beach ball and was taking it away when Cesaro sprinted and jumped over the barricade, grabbed the beach ball from him, sprinted, jumped over the barricade again, and proceeded to rip the beach ball up, and the crowd went fucking crazy. It was great.
Can I ask you guys something? And
yes, please do.
It's more of an opinion. What are your thoughts on the beach balls at the event?
It's...
Before you answer that, let me just ask you, do you feel it's disrespectful to the wrestlers? Do you feel that the company is not doing a good enough job to entertain the fans, that they got to entertain themselves? Do you feel it's a hazard? Do you feel that it's just fun?
I don't know that that WWE is not doing a good enough job that the fans have to entertain themselves. I feel like it's a thing where the Raw after Mania crowd is a perfect example of this, where it's the crowd is trying to be the show.
Over. The crowd's trying to get over.
Yeah, the crowd's trying to get itself over as opposed to, watching the show. Which, has become a thing at the Raw after WrestleMania, but
in some aspects, yes, it's fun because of the chants that they do. I know for a fact the Raw after Mania 30, we were over as fuck. But we were also not disrespectful, I think, to the wrestlers. There was a couple points that, maybe we chanted some things because there was a match that was shit and we started chanting JBL because, hey, why not? But there's also a point in time that...
But this match was not a bad match.
This match wasn't a match.
You're bored,
Let me ask you this. Let's just say there's a match going on in the ring, and it's super fucking boring. Neither guy is really doing much of anything. Kind of like Sheamus and Orton from years back. The one that everybody just completely chanted whatever they want. And they bring out the beach balls. Because this match is boring. They want to be entertained. The guys in the ring aren't doing their job. Do you still feel it's disrespectful? Because if you're asking me, this is just me personally, chanting stuff that has nothing to do with the match is equivalent to the beach balls. It's clearly showing lack of interest in the match.
Yes, I agree with you.
I agree, except for the fact that at some point, because maybe I heard this wrong. I heard that they tried to get beach balls going on Raw. And they almost that one almost fell in the ring, which is it's a beach ball, but at the same time it becomes like a hazard.
Well, you know whose fault this is, and this is me again, my opinion. WWE is at fault for one reason. If you think that this is disrespectful, why do you keep glorifying it? Why do you keep having wrestlers go out there and saying Beach Ball Mania? Basically saying that we endorse this behavior. Why is it that on Raw, when there was a beach ball, you basically pan to the crowd where they're playing a beach ball? If it's that disrespectful or that hazardous, why are you glorifying it? You had Chris Jericho the night after WrestleMania clamoring over Beach Ball Mania. Now, to be fair, that could have been on Jericho.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah,
you either have to not like it at all. Because WWE is notorious for taking signs away. It'd be like if right before you start taking signs away, you panned to them and talked about them on commentary.
Right. And like I said, this is just me personally. If you do not like Beach Ball Mania, which is fair, then you can't like random chants during a match either, like the CM Punk chants or the What's or people chanting JBL, all that, because they're just equivalent. The difference is that...
like I said, the only difference between chanting random things and the beach ball thing, or if you did let's extend it to other things like frisbees or shit, just whatever, it becomes like a hazard if it then makes it into the ring, or even if it like makes it down into the crowd to some extent, depending on what's happening and everything. I mean, like I said, it's a beach ball. It's not going to give anybody a concussion or anything, but it's just an extra obstacle that's around. Whereas chanting isn't going to like injure. It doesn't have the possibility of injuring somebody.
It may not, but most people are not arguing about whether the beach balls are hazardous. They're arguing that it's disrespectful. So, obviously...
Oh, well, if we're just talking about disrespectful, then, yeah. But I'm talking about it in a purely, like, hazardous sort of way.
Yes. Because I was at Raw the night after WrestleMania this year, and there were plenty of beach balls, mostly during the Cruiserweight match. I don't think they really brought out the beach balls after the Cruiserweight match. But it's just one of those things that, here's my thing, is that you paid money to go to the show. They have encouraged, or WWE has for the longest time has encouraged their fans that, yes, if you take over the show, we will applaud you for it. And we will make note of it. Which, to be fair, that's great, because now you're saying that the fans are part of the show, which, in my opinion, most people think that's bad, and I can see where they're coming from on that. But by the same token, the fan wants to feel like they're a part of something special rather than that they're just an audience member. Because wrestling is a different animal than, let's say, going to a school concert or whatever. There's more interaction, because the whole point is the wrestler's trying to engage a reaction out of you, whether positive or negative. So I feel, yeah, you do deserve at least some sort of participation, but more so in reacting the way that the wrestler's trying to do. And again, if they're not doing a good job of that, then by all means you have a job to entertain yourself. Now, again, I see where people's coming from, disrespect, whatever, but if we're gonna glorify beach balls as disrespectful, then the chants are disrespectful. Then being completely silent for the cruiserweight matches, like so, are disrespectful. Everything's disrespectful at this point.
Well, it all depends, like a lot of things in life, it all depends on intent. Like, if the intent of the beach ball, whoever brings the beach ball, is this match is boring, I'm going to show them how boring this match is by, by entertaining the crowd myself, that's one thing. But you have to know that there are a lot of people that do it because, the Raw after WrestleMania people get like noticed by the WWE if they chant dumb stuff, or a hashtag Beach Ball Mania. You have to account for the fact that some people are not doing it because of how they are feeling about that particular match, but because they are trying to like get some sort of level of attention, which I find super disrespectful.
Possibly. I don't particularly know anybody like that. I know there are people that exist like that. I just don't know them personally.
Like I said, it all depends on intent. Not everybody that throws up a beach ball at a WWE ring is trying to be super disrespectful, and some of them are.
All right, so to close this out, I'll just say this. I'm not a guy that's going to bring a beach ball to the show. I have no intentions of that. Plus, I don't want to be dragging that thing around everywhere before I get to an event. But I'll say this, and you don't have to believe me or not, but I do remember this specifically. This was at the Raw after WrestleMania 29, the infamous one where Dolph Ziggler won the title and the Orton and Sheamus match. I remember the Orton-Sheamus match. I'm pissed off because of the whole stipulation that didn't go through. Oh, you're going to vote. Randy Orton got the most votes. Oh, now your vote doesn't matter. I'm just skimming through. I'm pissed. Stewart's standing next to me, and he's trying to fucking, just rationalize with me. It's okay, whatever. I start chanting the Olay chant, and as soon as I start doing that, the whole fucking, it starts to pick up and everybody starts doing it. You don't have to believe me. I didn't do the second one, but I did do the first one. And it was at that point that it kind of subtly became chants after that. I think the only other chant I started was the HBK chant. Everything else, I don't know who started those chants, but I know for a fact that I was bored, I was angry with what they were giving me. I wasn't entertained, so I decided to entertain myself.
So you didn't like what Vince McMahon told you to like?
Pretty much, but that was years ago. That was
blasphemy.
How dare you, sir?
That's when I was very angry until Vince came to my house and drugged whatever food I was eating that day and made me.
Wait. Wait, did Vince invite you over to the house?
Well, I didn't go to his house. He came to mine. And
Okay.
He wanted to talk business.
So you didn't go to Connecticut?
I did not go to Connecticut. Well, Connecticut's only like a 45-minute to an hour drive from me. But
Okay.
He came over. For some odd reason, he shook something in my food, and I guess it was some sort of drug. So now I love whatever he likes or whatever he books. I love Roman Reigns. He's my favorite wrestler of all time.
Speaking of Roman Reigns, we're going to talk now about the AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens match.
Yes.
That has nothing to do.
I know.
Well, one of them did lose to Roman Reigns multiple times, so it sort of does.
Technically, both of them did.
That's right.
Well, I mean, I wanted to say one other thing before we
go for it.
Moved on from the tag team match. I'm just like, I'm kind of excited to see what they do with Ambrose and Seth Rollins because they haven't really been doing much with them. So I'm kind of, I'm interested in the pseudo Shield reunion. Also, I think they play off each other really well. So
yeah,
but that was it.
Okay. Well, up next is SmackDown for the WWE United States title. AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens with special guest referee Shane McMahon.
I think Shane McMahon took
Shane McMahon is the worst referee ever, and not because of all the stuff that he missed, but because he just can never get out of the way.
Yeah, he was too in the way. He kind of took down from a match that could have been awesome because AJ Styles and Kevin Owens are awesome, and Shane McMahon's awesome in his own right, but not as a referee. He needs to just I'm glad because there was rumors, or I was hearing he might turn heel. I'm glad he didn't.
No, I like the idea that I like how him and Daniel Bryan are faces, and they give kind of everybody a chance.
Shane needs to remain a face. That's in my opinion, Shane was always a better face than he was a heel because maybe it's because I've heard so many stories that Shane McMahon genuinely is one of the nicest, richest guys you'll ever meet. He's very helpful. He's always very advice-giving. So it's hard for me to look at him trying to be a bad guy. He's a natural good guy. Probably the best out of the McMahons. So I'm glad he remained in face. He's impartial. But he just got in the way too much of a match.
Yes, he did.
That could have been great. Because Owens and AJ are just phenomenal talents.
Well, I think it was playing off the feud that they've had so far. Because once because they kept getting into skirmishes on SmackDown, and one of them would try and hit the other one, and they would accidentally punch Shane or Pele kick Shane or something. So I think it was an extension of that. But it did mess up. It added something that didn't need to be added to this good a match. Other than the fact that I always love to listen to Kevin Owens yell at either the referee or the crowd.
Oh, God.
He engages so well.
I love Kevin Owens. What was that one not indie show, house show that he did where he mocked somebody wearing a CM Punk shirt. He's like, nice shirt, and did the straight edge symbol. That was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
He's awesome. But yeah.
Although, Guapo was telling us a story when we watched the pay-per-view about what was it, an NXT taping of some kind where Samoa Joe is actually pretty good at engaging the crowd.
It wasn't a taping. It was the NXT live event in New Orleans that me and Suave went to. The whole night, there was this guy in our section because we got really good seats close to the ring. Because I had an amazing refresh on Ticketmaster, and I went from row 10 to row 3, so I was just like, yep, take my money. So there was a guy in our section who was wearing I don't even remember what color. He was wearing a polo shirt to a wrestling event. You could tell this guy owns no wrestling merch, but he was at the show. The entire night, all the heels were fucking with him because he was heckling all the heels. The main event was Samoa Joe and Bobby Roode versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Andrade Cien Almas. It's right off the bat. Polo. Everybody was referring to him as Polo, and right off the bat, both Joe and Rude were messing with the dude. And then at one point, Joe was, I think, going up. He was fighting Andrade, and he went to do his senton, his jumping senton that he does. And as he jumps and as he's coming down on Andrade, he yells, "Screw you, Polo!"
That
it
is
was
fucking awesome.
fucking great. And at some point, Bobby Roode had got on the turnbuckle or something like that, and he looked over and he said, "Come on, Polo," and he opened the ring rope. "Let's go, come on, get in the ring, show me what you got." Just fucking with the dude. Me and Suave ended up getting a "Polo's gonna kill you" chant going, and as we're doing it, and there's more people joining us, he's looking over like, "No, please stop."
I would have marked out to be the symbol of the wrestlers' humiliation.
Of course. And that entire show was fucking great. There was a couple sitting next to me and Suave. You could tell this woman's never been to any type of wrestling event. We're all freaking going just crazy chanting NXT before it started. And the first person to walk out was No Way Jose. So we're all getting into it. Right before No Way Jose's music hit, she leans over to her boyfriend and says it just loud enough for me and Suave to hear it. Wow, are all these people really into this? And then No Way Jose's music hits. And we all start going crazy. And she just looks over like, "Oh my god, what did I come to?"
I've only got one story, and it doesn't involve Samoa Joe, it involves Kevin Owens. And this is just because the Polo guy, I don't understand why he wouldn't want to be, because this was the only time I think I ever was the center of attention for a wrestler at a major show. It was at Final Battle 2011. I may have told the story, I'm not sure. It was at Final Battle 2011. You can actually see it on the DVD if you purchase it. It's right in front of the camera. So this was Kevin Owens versus Steve Corino in a hardcore match, and the stipulation was that if Kevin Owens won, he would get his job back in Ring of Honor, because he was technically fired. And they had been doing an angle for like 6 months that he was constantly breaking into the building and going outside, starting shit with fans, blah, 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 blah. So there's one spot in the match where, because I'm sitting front row. I used to sit front row at all the Ring of Honor New York shows. And so what Kevin Owens did, Steen at the time, Kevin Steen went underneath the ring and grabbed the table. And he took the table, and you know how like sometimes they'll place the table and put it like laying down on the ring and on the barricade at the same time so that it's like leveled up? Okay, so he's doing that. Now keep in mind, this was just shortly after the CM Punk shit, when he started becoming hot. And at this point, I was such a mark for Kevin Steen that I was becoming a bigger fan of him. So I screamed something. I screamed like, I think you're better than Punk or whatever. I don't even remember. So Kevin Owens glances up, and he looks at me after he just like put the table there, and he says to me, "Do you see this table?" And I looked at him. I'm like, "Yeah." "If you fucking break this table, I'm going to eat your whole family alive." I'm like, whoa. I'm like, oh shit. Okay then. That was the one time I could say I felt like I was a part of the show.
It's great. I wish Kevin Owens would yell at me.
He yelled at me, and I tweeted him that, "Are you still going to eat my family alive?" He never responded back.
Oh, damn. You should try to ask him again.
I will. The next time I see him, I'll bring my Final Battle 2011 DVD, have him sign it, and ask him if he remembers. If he's telling you that he would eat your family if you broke the table. Yeah. So if you see that guy in the polo shirt again, just tell him that story.
Yes. Well, there was a lot of great things that night. We got one of the matches was Oni Lorcan versus I think it was Wesley Blake. Or it was Murphy. It was either Blake or Murphy. I can't remember which one. And we got Oni Lorcan to win the match because we kept chanting that we want a headlock. And he kept putting him in a headlock. And Oni Lorcan got, I think it was Blake, to tap out to a headlock.
Awesome.
So it was amazing. And then there was we got to see Mojo Rawley versus Austin Aries. At some point, Mojo had Austin on the barricade, like right in front of us, and was pounding on Aries. And then he looked up to us and blatantly said, "You guys see this guy's face? Ain't nobody sitting on this face tonight." And then proceeded to start beating on Austin Aries more. Just like awesome. He just said that. Oh my God, this is fucking great. Mojo Rawley just got points for me.
Awesome. Anyways,
yes.
We got more shit.
Next match.
Go over.
There's always going to be an echo. Sorry, guys.
The next match is the modern day Maharaja Jinder Mahal versus the artist, the king of strong style, Shinsuke Nakamura.
I've got something to say about this match.
Right after I tell you that this match got a 2.5 out of 10.
Okay, so remember earlier I said that I was going to bring up John and all those people? Well, I'm going to bring them up again.
Yes.
Okay, so one of our friends was neutral. My friend John, and he had a friend. I'll leave him nameless because I'm not really familiar with him all that well. We're more acquaintances at the moment. I don't know if he wants his name to be thrown out there. So those two are big Shinsuke Nakamura fans. In fact, the nameless person wore a Shinsuke Nakamura shirt. They're such huge Shinsuke Nakamura fans. Me and Anthony, we like to troll them and praise Jinder Mahal. So before the match even started, when the video package went up, we were just completely bowing to the altar of Jinder Mahal, like saying, "You people do not respect diversity." And they're like saying, "We're rooting for a Japanese guy," and it's like, yeah, you would rather root for somebody that caused Pearl Harbor than your modern day Maharaja. We were just being such dicks. Now keep in mind, me and Anthony believed that Shinsuke Nakamura was going to win. So they have this awesome match that did not drag at all. Keep in mind, it was very smooth, it was very tactful, and everything.
Well, yes, because this match should have been a 10-star match.
So they're insulting me for being gay, and there's one point where Shinsuke's walking around with his hips, and I'm like, "Oh, look, your fucking hero is walking like a flamboyant gay dancer." I'm just saying, I am being such a dick at this point. So they're getting, well, morely John, because John's the one that gives the reactions. He's getting pissed. So the match is going further, and then eventually Jinder wins. And at that point, me and Anthony looked at each other, we looked at fucking John, and did the whole taunt that he does with his 4 fingers right at him. It was fantastic. I said, I think that I should show up to John's next pay-per-view with Jinder Mahal's shirt.
Yes, do it. But then you actually have to buy a Jinder Mahal shirt.
That's fine. I don't hate Jinder Mahal. I just think that his push was so sudden. But you people,
his push was so sudden, and he looks gross.
How dare you say that, lady?
His torso is gross. I'm sorry. He has like saggy skin in places it shouldn't be saggy, and then fucking veins popping out.
You just don't respect diversity. That's what it is.
He looks like an old chicken cutlet.
Now you're being a xenophobe.
It's been tan.
Good job. You're a xenophobe now. Where are the SJWs?
I'm sorry. His torso is ugly.
I want the SJWs to be marching at your house with pitchforks right now.
I'm not saying all Indian people are like that. I'm saying his torso is ugly. Just his.
You think they're going to interpret it that way? Hell no.
I don't care.
Okay,
his torso is ugly.
You'll start caring when they start pulling up signs saying, "Worse than Hitler! Kristen's worse than Hitler!" I'm telling you, you're in for a rude awakening. Anyways, this match was awesome. Awesome!
Ugh.
I just know everyone was pissed.
Alright, well, it's time to talk about the Spot Fest that was the main event of
By Spot Fest, do you mean... By Spot Fest, do you mean the Braun Strowman match?
Yes, the Braun Strowman killing everybody match.
Yes.
The in the title holder, Brock Lesnar. I'm sorry. My client, Brock Lesnar, versus
Very good. Very good.
Roman Reigns versus the not Samoan Samoa Joe versus Braun Strowman.
You need to have more emphasis on the. Let me try.
Okay,
On
please.
the 1, 2, 3. Braun! There you go.
Okay, let me. All right, sip of water.
Which reminds me, I know this was a couple matches back. I am now sad because I didn't get a Bray Wyatt dirt during when we were talking about that match.
It was that the match wasn't what you
Well,
called.
it's too late now.
Yeah.
It's too late now. You can't do it now.
All right, let me try this Braun again. Braun!
Yeah, close enough.
Good. All right. Sorry. Rest in peace, headphone users.
Yeah, specifically me. Anyways, this match.
This
was
match.
Awesome. Oh,
yes. Go ahead.
I'm just gonna say that the trolling of John continued because I said to Anthony in whispering, I hope Roman wins because he hates Roman too. And then he started telling me, since you're in my house, you got to root for Roman this whole match. I don't want to see you rooting for Braun Strowman anymore. You go blow Roman Reigns. And every time Braun would come out and do the roar, I roared with him. He's like, no, you got to root for Roman. You got to root for Roman. Oh man, I had a blast watching this match, especially seeing Braun kick ass. Anyways, go ahead.
Yes. My initial thought of the match when the bell rang, I thought all three of them were going to team up and try to eliminate Brock. But the outcome of it, I'm pretty okay. Brock took three massive bumps onto the announce tables. So I'm pretty okay with this. He went through both announce tables.
He went through all of the announce tables.
He went through two of them, and then was had one flipped on top of him.
Yes.
So this match was pretty fucking good. This match was also rated 9 out of 10.
I liked it. It was a great main event. It was much better than last year's main event with Lesnar and Orton.
Yes. I am slightly disappointed though that we didn't get a new champion. However, if this is a payoff for Brock versus Braun at is it No Way Out?
No Mercy.
Or No Mercy. Oh, thank God it's not No Way Out again. Yes, if this is a match for Brock and Braun and No Mercy for Braun to take the title off of Brock on a 1-on-1 match, I'm perfectly fine with this.
Yeah, the only thing is, I'm a patient guy.
It fucking better be. I'm so done with Brock Lesnar I'm so done with my champion not being on Raw. I complain about this every fucking pay-per-view.
Here's the thing. I'm a patient guy. I don't need Braun versus Brock at No Mercy. I can wait till Mania. Tease it for me. I don't need it right now. I want to see these two kill. The only way this will work for me personally is this would work for me is if it ends in a double DQ or because then to build to another match, because you can't defeat Braun right now. Braun is too fucking he's on fire right now. He's doing so well. I'm just amazed that their WrestleMania plans is Roman versus Brock. They should be planning for Braun versus Brock at Mania, because that would be exciting. At least to me. I don't know about you guys, but that shit would be awesome.
I agree, but I feel that they might not want to pull. They're going to want to pull the trigger sooner to get Brock off of TV for a while, to where the next time we see Brock maybe would be Rumble, maybe.
Hey guys, I'm Carly Kloss, and I just created my own.
I'm like Kristen said, I'm a little tired of not having a champion. Not just not on Raw, but just not there.
Not even on all the pay-per-views.
Correct.
Like, he's only on, 8 every like third pay-per-view, maybe.
Well, in my case, the match I proposed, Braun versus Brock, I'm not even saying that Brock has to be the champion. I'm just saying that...
Well, I'm fine with that, but like...
Oh, yeah.
I'm tired of not having my champion on Raw. And I thought it was... I guess the whole point of that stipulation that they brought up where if Brock leaves, he's going to loses, he's going to leave WWE was just a big, giant red herring to throw us off. I'm not saying the match wasn't good. I liked the match. I thought everyone except Samoa Joe was pretty even in the match. I mean, Braun destroyed people, but I feel like everybody got their spots except for Joe.
Yeah, 'cause I didn't understand keep on doing the Kimura lock. That is Joe's
way to take down
submission.
Guys that are bigger than him.
But it's a very slow submission. So it's hard for me to get behind Joe for this match, only for the pure fact that if all he was doing is the submit of the Kimura lock, it's not going to happen. He wasn't going to win with it.
Yeah, and Joe didn't really do much either. Nothing of merit. So
Correct.
He did feel like out of the loop, even though promo-wise, Roman was the one that felt out of the loop. Because Joe was bringing it on the mic. Lesnar, well, he just needs Paul Heyman. And Braun, just the way they're booking him, has been absolutely fantastic. So... And that's the non-troll of me saying that. They've been doing such a great job with Braun that it's absolutely amazing to me that they want to give this match away on No Mercy and not be patient. Because I think Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins has proven that you don't need to give it to us right away. Let us tease it a bit. We can wait. And when the time is right, you pull the trigger. I mean, you made us wait a year for Rock and Cena. We can wait, or at least, let me speak for myself. I can wait until Mania for Brock and Braun.
I can wait for that too, but I'm done with my with no Raw champion.
That's why I'm
done with the title not being on Raw.
That's part of the reason why I wanted Roman to win, because it would deflate the whole Brock Roman thought at WrestleMania 34 at least.
Well, and I don't know if it was on this podcast or the one we do with Spaz. It was like 3 pay-per-views ago, I was complaining about Brock won again. We still don't have a champion on Raw. And whoever's podcast I was on essentially guaranteed, like, well, I think it was Spaz. It sounds like something Spaz would say. Well, it'll change SummerSlam. You could wait for SummerSlam, right, Kristen, for it to change title? And I'm like, I guess. And it didn't fucking happen. I'm so sick of my champion not being on Raw. Especially if you're not even going to, like, push the Intercontinental title in some sort of significant way. I mean, hell, Miz didn't even have a title match at this pay-per-view.
Yeah. And then the funny thing is that Miz cut an awesome promo the next night. It's like, this guy who's your Intercontinental champion, who cuts these...
He's your highest level champion on the show, and when Brock doesn't show up.
And he's cutting these fantastic promos recently. And you don't want to fucking treat him like a second place guy. Like, because at the time, in the 80s, if you were the Intercontinental champion, you were the number 2 guy. You were literally... There was only one guy better than you, and that was the WWE champion. Now it's like, well, you got a belt. Okay.
So I didn't not like the match. I thought the match was pretty good, but I am angry at the results. I thought it was dumb. I thought, but clearly, what do I care? Nothing that I care about matters.
Yeah. Because you will like it.
I didn't mean to bring it down, but I'm legitimately upset about it.
That's okay. You like it because Vince tells you to.
Exactly. That's why I watch SmackDown.
Exactly.
Except
because you know why? You know why you watch SmackDown? Because now it is glorious.
That's true.
Yes.
But I have to watch Raw because my Finn Balor's on Raw.
Yes, so you got SmackDown, which is glorious, and Monday Night Raw, which is wonderful. Yes. Somebody.
God damn it. One time, guys.
No, because we gotta stay awoken.
Yes. Because on Monday Night Raw, people will be rendered obsolete.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so great when I win this bet.
No, because Kristen soon. Yes.
I'm just saying. I'm just piling.
The 7 deities have
Compiling
told
chest
me
chops.
the black cat feline will become broken. Yeah.
And guess what? Your chops.
I'm not worried.
Your chops within that bet after you lose will be deleted from
Delete!
existence. Delete!
Actually, that's not 100% true. I get one chop no matter what.
Obsolete.
Guapo.
It's not true. I get one chest chop guaranteed.
Guapo, your words have rendered a powerful premonition.
Yes. Wonderful.
Kristen will be wearing the Bella of Nikki from Halloween. Yes.
Can we be done now? I gotta go do stuff.
Stuff like what? Buy your Nikki Bella merchandise? Yeah.
Yes.
No, I have to start writing up the script that I want Spaz to say for his Why I Love Naomi video.
Oh, awesome. That's awesome. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's been
also chest chop Guapo.
SummerSlam review. So, with that, keep in note that we have a bet going on. So, sooner or later, someone's going to either get chopped or become belted.
What the fuck is this we thing? You are not part of this. You have not added anything into any of this shit.
I have brought it to the
Unless
audience.
you want in.
I don't want
Unless you want in.
I want to be the audience member that watches the whole thing as it unfolds.
No weasel shit. I still owe Guapo at least one chest chop. But it will be more.
It will happen, damn it.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, have a good night.
Adios, amigos.
Bye.